Morning, Crafty Homemaker here. Today I'm going to do a background for a journal. So I'm not trying to create the Mona Lisa or anything like that, just a nice picture. So I've roughly drawn, I don't know where you're going to see, I don't know what's wrong with my lighting, but still. I've drawn houses, along, roughly drawn it, and I've roughly laid down some paint, flicked some paint on it. That's all I've done so far. Okay. Bring that over. I don't know if this video will be any good, but I just fancy doing some painting, so I thought I would do a video. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day it hasn't got to be perfect, because it's just a nice personal bit in your journals that you've done yourself. I put a tree here. I say nothing fancy. I've just got a flat light little brush. I don't want it to look perfectly, I don't know what you'd call it really, because I don't want it like all neatly painted. I want it to look a little bit, probably a little bit watercolory, I suppose. I don't know, it's probably the wrong way to explain it. But yeah, I've set down some colours on a bit of card. I ain't got a fancy thing to put my paints on. So I'm going to create a tree. So I'm going to bring it over. So I'm going to put marks on this as well. So basically I just want a nice background, because this is what it's going to be. So I'm just, I'm going to have to, I don't know why my lighting's so bad. So I'm just putting some paint down there. Yeah. I've just finished, because I haven't done any journaling for ages. And because my stuff was all in the loft. When my son moved back in, I had to move my stuff out the way, because he had to have the room upstairs, because we only live in a tiny, we were living in a granny annex basically. So now I'm just going to sort of put some branches in, just to make it look like it's going somewhere. Again, it's nothing, you haven't got to do anything fat. I'm going to keep trying to move you in. Hopefully sort of see what I'm doing. Well, I think once I move over this bit, you'll see better. I'm not really going to fork out for amazing camera equipment, because I'm not after doing this for a job. It's just, I enjoy doing crafting, and if I can show people any ideas, you know, and that, because I know there's a lot of people that don't too worried about crafting. I was speaking to someone the other day, and she said she's worried about doing it wrong. Well, I'm sorry, especially with arts and crafts, I can't see as you can do it wrong when you're painting or doing a journal, because if you're envisaging something in your head and it comes out how you want it, then it can't be wrong, can it? You know? So that's my thing about that. So I said give it a go. You know, anything really. If it goes completely like you think, oh, it's not how I wanted it, you could splash something over the top of it, and I don't know, print over it, or whatever you want to do. You can do something with it, that's for sure. I'm going to go in with the fan brush again. The idea was I wanted do I want another tree? I might just do some greenery behind that bit there. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm not amazing painter or anything. It's just to make something look a bit interesting. I might even cut some of this out when I put it in a journal. I might shape it, you know, a little bit, so it's not just straight. I might cut around the houses or something like that. So I'm just laying in some darker green now, and just using the fan brush to try and fan it out a bit so it just doesn't look like blobs. But you know, like I said, it's not about I don't want it to look perfectly painted. It's not really the sort of look I'm going for. I want it to be interesting, but feel like it's got texture to it. And the thing is, you can always add finer details. If that's what you want to do, you do it. I mean, you could go with some water now, and that'll make it even more subtle. Put another bit in there, but I mean you don't want just one colour because a tree's not one colour. Putting a little bit on the side. Again, I'm going to put a little bit darker green in there. Just fan it around with a fan brush. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You know, to make it look, like I said, you can go in with a finer brush if you want to define that a little bit more, and I might do, don't know yet. I'm gonna, I think the most important thing is not to be afraid to just go for it, you know. I've got a bigger brush now, you know. Kitchen roll's handy to have, because who can say art's wrong? You can't. No one can say it's wrong. What do you think about that lady, can't remember her name now, Tracy something I think it was, that did that, so I'm just using a bigger brush now to blend that in a little bit more, who did the bed, messy bed in the art gallery. I mean, some people might say that's a bit naff, but you know, not everyone's cup of tea, is it? You know, and that's the same with whatever you do. You know, I think also doing something like this for journals, when you're so I'm just adding some water to that now to try and make that not so dominant there, because I don't want it that dominant. Put marks on afterwards, which is what I should do. I should use some stencils and put some markings on it and stuff. Makes a big difference. What did I do? Let's have a look, see if I can get it. I do try and be more organised, but I'm not a really organised person, but you know, I might put people off watching me, but I'm not changing my personality. I'm too old for that now. I'm in my 50s. It is what I am, now. You know, I'm just a bit chaotic. This one, I did, just give you an idea. Again, like I said, once you start putting markings all on it, it totally changes it. And it's nothing that fancy, it's not that hard to do. And once it's in your journal, it looks really nice and it's a bit personal. Add a little personal touch to it. Rather than, you know, I mean, I do buy paper, obviously, but I mean, it's nice to, I quite enjoy getting the paints out. Right, we're going to come back to the trees if I decide that I want to put a bit more on it. What I would have liked to have done, but as I was saying to you, hey, how chaotic I am, I didn't bring anything over here to do it. What I'm probably going to do is add some texture to the houses with just some texture paste, so they're not flat. I did have a plastic, I haven't got lost all my palette knife, so I will just probably use a spoon or something I can find to put some on, and then it'll wash off. It's not a problem. Let's find something. Yeah, that'll do. Yep, you have to sometimes adapt. That's what I'm doing. I've just ordered some actually, palette knives, but I haven't got one at the moment, so let's just go for it. Right. Oh, that one's a bit hard, isn't it? Yeah. Got a bit in there that's soft. I think I've got another one in there somewhere. This, you just put it where you want it, and what it'll do, it give it a bit of texture, which is quite nice when you're doing something, so it's not just flat. We've got a bit of rough plaster on this house, so let's put a little bit there because that'll look quite cool, I should think. Put there, put a bit on the roof to give that roof a texture to make it a bit more poppy there. A bit more on there, we'll put some on there. Oop. So, yeah. That's how I do it. Whoop. Out there. Just adds a bit more interest because it's not then just dead flat, you know. Whatever you're doing, even if you're adding, just laying down some patterns on it, doesn't take that long to dry. Might even add a little bit in the trees, you know. I'll just go over that in a bit. Yeah, I think I will. just adds a little bit of interest. Yeah, just spread some on. This is my road, will be my road. I'll just add a little bit on there, nothing fancy. So I said, just go for it. Be a kid again. When kids don't care when they paint, do they? Just enjoy yourself. Right, there we go. There. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So just add bits here. I think you can make your own, but I've never made my own. But I know there's a lot of people not a fan of Temu. I quite like it, but I use it for craft stuff. I've just ordered some of this stuff from there. I think you get quite a big pot, quite reasonable. So put some on the roof there, put some on that building, might add a little bit there. We've got a house behind that tree, so I might put a bit on the roof to make that stand out a little bit. Yeah, that's alright. So like I said, that'll wash off that. Got a bit of tissue. Palette knife would have been better, but I didn't have one, so use what you've got. So we'll get rid of that now, so we don't need that. Right. Okie dokie, what should we do now? Right. I want to put some brown down for this tree. I think we've got another tree going on here, but I don't think I'm going to put maybe a little bit of a trunk there. Just put some sort of brown in between it. That's going to be your branches. Like I said, it's not thing. As you go along, you look at it. If you don't like it, add something else to it, and do things like that, you know. That's my son's dog who's going to bark now. Right, I'm not sure what colours I'm going to do these houses yet. So I think, because I haven't put any texture paste on this bit here, so I'm going to have to let that dry for a minute, but it doesn't take long to do. I think I always find, but again, like I said, it's not a set in stone, it's how I do it, is I'm going to lay down some just beige paint first on this one. I am going to add colour to it, but I don't want it to look just, I mean, it depends what style you're going for, doesn't it, really, I suppose. You know, if you're doing a bright journal, you might want to just do it like one colour, like bright pink or something. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm going to use this for yet. I'm just going to go with it and just see how I feel as I go along. Thing is, when I haven't done journaling for ages, making journals, because like I said, my stuff's been in the loft when my son moved back in. Then I had 3 surgeries last year, so I did a lot of crocheting, but didn't really do much any other art. So I'm just getting back into it, and I started making. My sister lives in Norwich, and she's coming down because my mum's still with us, and she's in her 80s. She's coming down this Friday. Oh, I don't like that. See, this is what you find as well. You see, I've got orange in my head, but the orange I've got is quite red, and I don't really like that. Yeah, so she's coming down, and I thought, oh, my mum gave me quite a few photographs she had, and I went through and I thought I'll do her like a journal and put some pictures of us in there as kids and stuff like that. So I finished it yesterday, but what I was going to say is I started off thinking I would do a fairy journal. Is that what I had in my head? Do a fairy journal. And I completely did not go with doing a fairy journal. So, right. So I'm putting some orange on now. Now, I don't really like that. It's a bit bright. So I'm going to clean my brush off and see if we can tone that down a little bit with the beige. Not worried about going over the windows. I mean, I have sketched this down, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to try and spread this out now. Again, what I'm going to try and do, like I said, I'm not an artist or anything, I just like crafting, is spread it out a bit. So I've watered it down. Let's see, with acrylics, I've tried, because I like the look of watercolours. But I've tried using them. I might try again, but I'm just not very good at it, to be fair. I don't know why. I prefer the acrylic paints. So I'm going to put a bit down there, but I hope you can see this, because it's just really quite annoying that my light, I think you'll see me better when I come down the other way, but I will pick it up now and again. Yeah, so I mean, we've got the tree coming over the house, because we don't want to just do like straight houses and then nothing else going on. So we're going to see a little bit of the roof of this one behind that tree. Dab my brush off. So I'm going to put some brown down as part of the roof, and then I'm going to just put it into, I put some paste up there, so I might have to leave that for a minute. I forgot I'd done that. So we'll just do that little bit there. So that's just going to peek behind that then. So for the windows, I'm probably going to might even put a little bit of brown on that house, you know, just to turn it down a bit. You know, it's just to, you don't want it just to look solidly, well I don't, that's how I don't like it like that. I don't want it to look solid. So, you know, I don't know what journal this will go in, because I haven't made my mind up what I'm going to do next, but you know, the other side, I will do something on the other side of the page, probably just do a pattern that someone can still write on in there. But I mean, my feeling is I'd probably cut around the houses and not do it, I don't want it just a square bit of paper. And probably here as well, curve it round or something like that. So yeah, so I've done that. So I'm going to get a different paintbrush now. What have I got in the pot? Any artists out there probably thinking, oh my god, what's this woman doing? Like I said, it's all about having fun. Enjoy it, you know, enjoy it. It's relaxing actually, if you're not that worried about freaking yourself out. Oh, well, that might go wrong. Oh, what am I going to do if that goes wrong? You know, like I said, flick some paint over it if it goes wrong. Just have it, it's like, oh yeah, it's meant to be like that. A bit of mad art, you know. Right, I'm going to get myself covered in paint in a minute, because I'm leaning in it now. So I'm going to do, I've gone in with some grey for my windows. So I don't use, I mean, I wouldn't dream of, I haven't put a ruler or anything on these windows to make them straight or anything, just draw them. Because you don't really want everything perfectly, well, unless you're going for that style. I don't particularly like that style. I like things to be, what's the word we use? Well, we've got to love the word rustic, haven't we? That's a good word for anything that's not, I'm not even going to say messy, but not perfect, you know. It's one of my favourite words. My cooking's rustic. Most things I do is rustic. But you know, it's good. I'm a great lover of old stuff anyway. I do love old stuff. I like things that I know, you know, people have like handled and stuff like that, and it's worn a bit in places. I just like that sort of like thing really. But, you know, we're all different, aren't we? I'm not a great fan of highly modern. Probably because I'm a bit vintage myself, getting on a bit now. Probably why I think like that. So yeah, I'm just going to go around the door, like that. Again, it's not perfect. I'm not going for perfect. What colour door should we have? Well, I think if I had an orange door, orange house I mean, I would have probably just a wooden door. So let's just do it brown. Yeah, for brown door. And we'll put some lighter brown in that in a minute. Yeah, it's I mean, I love painting anyway. I really do. Right. Alright, so we've done a brown door. Looks a bit naff at the moment, but afterwards what I would tend to do, and I probably will do, is I will go, oh no, why have I put that colour? We don't want that colour. Let's put a bit of the yellow ochre in it. With a black thin tipped pen and outline it. That's what I will do. Oh, I'm getting covered in a thing now. So again, I've just put some lighter colour, put some of the beige on the door so it's just not a brown blob. And I'll put a handle in. When I do outline it, I should put a handle on it. Right, so we've done that now. Right. So like I said, we're still waiting. See, it's nearly done. It's pretty tacky now more than anything. So we're on the next house, and I think you might see the next house a bit easier. Here you can see what I've done there. We're on the next house, you'll be able to see now. What colour should we do this one? Again, I shall lay down some beige because I don't want it to just be a solid mass of colour. So we're going with some beige. I find beige and white is really handy to have, and obviously black. We'll just go in there. We get a runny nose now. Typical, isn't it? But see, I like that. You can see I might even splash more over it when I'm done. Just to, like I said, it's just, I don't want it a solid picture. It's not the style I was going for. So, a bit more there. Oop. A bit more there. That's it. Inks would be another good thing to do rather than acrylics. I haven't got any inks at the moment. Mine dried out when they were stored away, so, and some of the lids had come off it and that. So I haven't got any at the moment, but inks are a nice way to paint stuff as well. Oh dear, I might have to blow my nose in a minute, people. Sorry about that. There we go. Right. So hopefully you can see, like I said, we want some lighter and darker bits. I'm going to have to blow my nose, I do apologise. Right. That's better. Right, okay. Put the wool on there, attached to my hand. Right, okay. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. See what this looks like. We're going with some, I suppose, aqua, would you call it aqua? Or like an aqua colour. There we go. I'm trying to spread it around because, like I said, we don't want it. So I'll probably leave, I want some of that grey showing through. What's up there? Okay. Right. You can always go over it as it dries and define the areas more that you want to, you know, it hasn't got to stay like that. This is like the first stage really, because you can add to it. So I'm not putting any more paint on my brush, I'm trying to spread it around because I don't want it too vivid. Yeah, that's probably a good word, vivid. You know, that's just what I want it to be like, but like I said, you do you. Of whatever you've decided to do, you could put, you know, make it more cartoony or whatever you want really. So just go there like that, spread it out. That's it, so it fades down. So so you can see some of those splodges, that's what I want it to happen. So now we're coming with a finer brush. I've got literally a pot full of brushes now. Right, okay. Pull down. These ones I think I'm gonna to go with brown. Oh, brown. This paper, I already had this paper. I was given a few pads. This is actually, I believe, watercolour paper, I think. But it's strong paper, you know, so it's pretty good. We're going to go in again, like I said, once you come to once it's dry and you want to come in with a pen and do some markings on it, over it, it's a bit of stencil over it. It look pretty cool, I think. A bit more. I think the main thing is you just give it a go. Give it a go. Layer it. You can always come back to it after a bit if you think, oh, I don't know. I mean, I did something the other day. I think, oh, that's a bit thicker than what I wanted, but that's alright. I thought I'd do a video the other day, and I was doing a background and that, and I was trying to video it, and I did a bit, and it splodged, and it, oh, anyway, I thought, oh, this looks a mess. Stopped doing it, and then I didn't bother putting the video up, and then I fiddled about with it, and in the end, I've used it actually in my sister's book. I'll show you through that in a bit. But yeah, so nothing's at a loss. I ended up getting some napkins and put some, I think it was a peacock picture I found, and put that over it. So you had all the thing that I'd done in the background, and then put a picture of a peacock over the top. So again, you could do the same thing with this. If you did something similar and you thought, oh, I don't know, you know, do some markings on it, get a napkin, put something over the top, because it's literally a background for you to put whatever you want over the top of it. You know, this I will clip things on once it goes in the journal. I should be putting things all on top of it. You know, bits of paper and that people can write on. I just thought it's oh, it's my dehydrator and drying some tea bags. To me, it's nice. Well, I would like it if someone gave me something that they had put some stuff in it that they had made. I'd think, oh, that's lovely. You know? Rather than everything brought, but that's just how I feel about it. Right, we're going to go like that. That's so. Door frame. And that. I think we might have a yellow door on this one. Yeah, nothing too bright. Right, paint's drying out a little bit there. Got a bit of water on it if they start drying out. Yeah, we'll use the yellow on that. That's quite good. There we are. How are we doing with the roof? It's a little bit wet, that is up there. I think in some places where I've done it quite thick, it's thing. What colour should we do this next house? What should we do? Should we do a blue house next to the green? I know blue and green should never be seen. More grey. Right, I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. Hopefully you can start seeing a bit better now. Yeah, I think you can. I'm going to lay down some beige, like I said, or you could use white if you haven't got beige. Like so, because it helps also to mix the paint so you're not making it too solid colour. And that's where the bare plaster's showing through on that bit that I done. I mean, look online, pick a picture you like, and so you've got something sort of like sort of copy and or ideas, you know. You can even just do individual ones and then cut them out and use them as tags or a bookmark or something. I made like toadstool. Yeah, it's a toadstool, isn't it? One in my sister's book that I done. So and use the sewing machine and did like a hem round it and put it in there. It's like a bookmark or a tag or whatever she wants to do with it. Right, now you can probably see now what I mean about when it's fading down. You want, because you can see some of the paint that I flicked through, and I'll probably like blob some more on it afterwards. So now a grey that I've got here is really quite dark. Okay, let's see if we can mix that. So I've put white on my thing as well, so that I can tone some of these colours down. I'm just going to mix them on my bit of card. Right, just mix some colour there, and I should just go in again. We'll start here. Now, if you like do this and you think, oh Christ, that looks a bit dark, that's alright. We're gonna, oh, gone over the window then, it doesn't matter, we can paint the window back in. Right, I'm just going to blob it everywhere because this is a bit too heavy than how I wanted it. So if I blob it around, then what I should do, clean my brush off and we'll spread it around a bit then. It doesn't matter, I've gone over my window, I'll just paint them in, but just a reference. So we're going to spread that out because I don't want it as dark as that, so keep spreading it out. Gradually blend it a bit better than it just being blobbed on. Right, let's bring that down more. I'll put a little bit more water on my brush. I'll dab it off a bit because I don't want it too wet. Right, we'll bring it down, spread the paint around. Right, so, oh, there we go. There we are. You can always put some colour on the top anyway as well, so it's not the end of the world. I don't know why I went over the bloody window there, look. Oh dear, what numpty. Right, okay, bring it down. Right. Okay, a bit more. Right, bring that in. Right, okay. Oop. There we are. There we go. Don't want it too solid. Right. Okay, let's bring that down there. Right. Okay. What you can do as well, just give it a bit of a dab, some tissue. And then I will go in a small beige because those places I'm not happy with. So now that the paint's absorbed into the paper a bit, I can go in with a different colour. So again, we can line that off like that. This house was missing a bit of plaster, so we can make it look like, oh, this is a bit worse for wear, this one. That's it. Let's just put some paint down. We'll do that bit. That's the bit where the plaster's missing. We'll do that. Like that. Oh, there we go. Like that. Just more beige over that because I don't like that bit either. Like that. Okay. There. I hope you can see what I mean. You don't, I mean, I'm not going for it to look, I don't want it to look solid, you know. Doesn't matter if paint goes over to there, because when I outline it, I will be outlining each house as it should be, how it should be, how I want it. Right, we're going to do the top bit. Right, do that. Might do that with a bit of white and grey and a bit of beige mixed in up here, like this, to just, yeah, do it lighter at the top here. We go across, so there we are. Not too dark. There we are. So I've got to paint the windows in. Right. I think the windows, that's my little brush, I'm going to go in with the dark grey. I think it's very dark, but let's see what this looks like. Yeah, quite like that. Yeah. Again, it's not going to be perfect straight lines, you know, I can't, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think this is half the trouble, people get so obsessed with everything being as perfect as it seems. Right, nope. I have half the stuff stuck on my arm, but it often happens. There we go. I can do these little ones at the top. Again, like I said, you're going to, this is where the plaster's supposed to be hanging off, so let's just do like a, bit round there. Stab it around there. Yeah, there we are. Make it look like it's a bit rough around there. A bit of water, but I'm going to dab some of it off because we don't want to water down the paint too much, because otherwise it's going to go everywhere. How's that? Yeah, it's alright. Okay. Right. It's handy to have some kitchen roll with you. I did end up going over this window. Not a lot I can do about it now, but you know, I'm not worrying about it. It's what it is, you know. It's just going to be a bit of interest in a journal, so I'm not going to get marked out of 10 for my art skills, that's for sure. So, there we go. I'm not no artist, I'm just a crafter. I like to craft and have a go and enjoy doing stuff, so that's what it's all about for me. Right, okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to the grey for the thing, but I think I might do the door red just to lift it a little bit. So I think around here I'm going to do it grey. Dab my brush off a bit, too much water on that. That's going to think, right, like that. I want to add a little bit more paint because I want it to be a little bit darker. That's better. That's better, yeah. Okay. Go around, can you see now? You can. Right, okay, there we go. There we go, a little bit darker there. Again, the handles and that, whoops, drop a tissue there. I should draw in with the pen afterwards. So let's go in with, got some dark red here. Let's liven it up a bit of red, shall we? Yeah. There we go. Red door. Too much water. There we go. There we are. There we are. There we are. Okay. That's red door there. And I did put the frame over that window, so I don't need to hear the TV. Right, I need to put that in there, like that. Okay, and then course, I've got a thinner brush. Let's just grab a thinner brush for a minute. little thinner brush. Once you start adding little details, I'll show you here. I put some yellow in the windows. There we go. A bit up there. Up there. Yeah. Or you could put some colour if you want to make it curtains. I'm just going to put yellow in there just to lift it a bit. Like so. A bit more water, dab it off a little bit. A bit more. Like that. Yeah, that bit that I smudged, well, painted over by accident, that we can just have to be a shadow. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. In there. There. You know, just little things like that. Look how much that's lifted it. Putting yellow in there. And also what you can do, if you really want to be fancy, and how fancy you want to go for a background, but if you do, you could even like put in details like, I don't know, like bricks. I don't know, could do some bits like that, like it's you've got a bit of brickwork there and whatever, that sort of idea. You know, you could do all fancy bits like that. I'm not going to, but you could. So let's put a bit of roof on there now. You know, it's you do you. You do you. You could be an amazing painter. I'm not an amazing painter, but I can make something look alright, I think. You know, give it a go. I enjoy it. That's the main thing. Alright. Alright. Okay. I think that paste must be starting to see. I need some water on there. That's going a bit thing now. So let's dab my brush a little bit. Dab it off so we don't get a mess everywhere. Go back over it. It's a bit easier to paint. There we go. Like that. Do the chimney. We'll start off with something a bit lighter, I think. This is the chimney. Yeah. Ooh. So I'm doing it again. Like I said, don't matter. Doesn't matter. Because even when I draw around it, if I don't like it's too thick, I just will draw around it how I wanted to, and if it's bled over a bit, doesn't matter. It adds to the picture myself. A little bit darker on there. The chimney. So you can just distinguish bits. There we are. There we are. Right. And then that top bit is what I should probably do. Is do it so it's like, don't know what you call it. You have that stuff, it's like stuff you stitch your house, so you've got like wood or whatever stuck your house. Not fascia, is it? I don't know. Something like that anyway. So we're going to do that on that bit. Make it look a bit more interesting as well. There we go. There we are. Again, I'm not going to stress over it. Job's a good one. Right, how's that doing? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right, okay. Next one. I think we're going to go more of a deeper blue, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So, again, swap brushes. Come on, white, because you've used it for dark paint. You don't want it to ruin your paint. So I'm going to get a clean bit of tissue now. I've got a bin down there, so let's chuck that in the bin. Right, okay. Wipe it again. I'm going to go in with the beige again. Said it's a good. How's that paste? It's a little bit damp still, so I think this house has got a. Gonna have a lighter bit there. Alright, but it has. So let's do that. There. And then we go down here. There. There we go. Okay, we'll have a bit more water. There we go. Yeah. That's it. And I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm going to go in with the blue like this. There we go. There we are. Again, I'm trying not to make it too vivid, because that's just the look I was trying to go for. So that's why I'm watering it down. But if you want them bright, you can. That's up to you how you do it. There we are. Go across there like that. There we are. That's it. Blend it down a bit. Like so. Right. That's dry enough to go over it. Right. Yeah, we'll go over that bit there. Right. A bit more beige again. Go in with the beige. Got a bit of tree over there. You can always paint it back in after. Like I said, you want to go over the buildings. You can see now. Oh, I hope you can see. I might move it over a minute. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've hit some texture paste there, so it just gives it a nice bit of texture. It's like texture paste. Bit there as well, so it's just took it off from being flat on the page. Go across like that. Okay, and there. Right. Again, I'm going to wet my brush a little bit, dab it. Don't want to go too mental with the blue. So there's the trees there. Right. Right. Go on the window. And a little bit more. Some places that you can't see it's blue, it's got more of a grey colour, so I want to add a bit more blue in there so you can tell that it's meant to be blue. This is where the texture paste is. Don't know if you pick it up on the camera, but it's nice even to, you know, if you like to have different textures to feel, it's nice. You'll feel the difference of it being on there. We'll go there a bit. There we go. There we go. Right. Across there. Oop. Put a bit more blue on there because I want you to be able to see it from the grey house. You know that it's actually blue. Right, here we go. So, okay, we're going to leave that bit beige, I think there. I think what I might do actually, just putting that in a bit because that looks a bit stupid. Yeah, dab it a little bit. There we go. Yeah, dab it a little bit. There we go. Takes off the harsh lines sometimes if you do that. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think they're going to have blue window frames. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Right, what brushes have I got out? Yeah, let's use this one. We're just going to go in with a neat blue, see what it looks like. Yeah, quite like it. Blue window frames go with their blue house. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Right, we'll go around like that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the day yet. Probably do the other side of this if it dries. It does dry quite quick because we're not putting really thick paint on. If it's quite thick, it would take a little bit of time to paint, but I mean I've still got to do my markings and that on it, so I expect this will just be my day. I shall put it down because I have to play with the dogs for a bit and take the dogs out and stuff, so yeah. we'll just put her around probably, just doing bits and pieces. So we're going to go around this one, like so. Use a bit more paint again now. There we go. Whoop, lob it off. Lob it off. That's still a bit wet. I don't know what's going on with my nose today. Dear me. It's funny, isn't it? It's like sometimes when you're doing something, I find, it sounds weird, but if I go for an appointment, all of a sudden I'll just like have the sniffles. I don't know if it's nerves or what it does, but it gives me the sniffles. It's really quite annoying sometimes, but hey ho. Just me being a bit strange probably. Okay, right. There we go. Like that, down like that. There. Might look like a child's drawing on there, I don't know. Can't really see. Looks alright from where I'm sitting, but you know. Again, I'm not an artiste. So here we go around that one. Another arch window. There we go. Like that. Like that. Like that. Right, it's got to be a blue door, isn't it? I don't know what I'm going to do with the window, the frame now. Let's go with the blue. A solid blue door. Who's that behind the blue door? Oh, it's a green door, isn't it? I don't know. Don't know. Right, we'll come down. Okay. Right. Right. Now, I'm going to have to think. I might have to do a grey frame. I don't do it different from the door. You're not going to miss it. We're going to have to go with the wooden frame. I think you probably would have it painted white or something, but anyway, let's just do the brown. Just so we can establish. Oh, that's going to smudge the blue. Never mind. Right, okay. Let's do the roof. Go with the roof. Here we go. Roof. It's a bit too much water. And we've got another chimney on that one. Whoop. Like that. What's going on with this bit here? Don't know. Very weird. Don't know quite what. So it's like a balcony sort of thing. I don't know. There. Like that. Here we are. Bit of brown on there. There we go. Right. How's that looking? Too bad, is it? Not too bad. Not too shabby, eh? Not too shabby. Right. Right, okay. Let's put a bit more brown on there. Don't know that the colour it was. There we go. A bit more. Okay. Alright. Okay. Right. Ooh, what should we do this one? Again, let's add some, before we go any further, put more thin one. Let's add some detail in the windows to brighten up a little bit. Let's have a little thing in there, put some yellow in there. So, in there. It does make a difference when you start adding little bits and pieces into it, I've got to say. You know, a little bit of colour in there. got to think. We've got 2 more houses to paint. What colour are we going to do them? Probably going to have to do a part 2 this video because I'm not going to get it done in a day. I thought, as I've still got quite a bit to do. I don't know how long this video is already. I don't know. A bit more in that window there. There we go. It does make a difference though when you start putting colour in and colour down in it. There we go. Just lifts it a bit more than just being, you know, just one colour. Let's do the same on this one. That's a bit of interest. Probably should wait for that one to dry off a bit. Probably leave that alone. Right. What colour are we going to do now? What colour should we do this one? Well, why not have a pink house? I would have a pink house. Right, I've got quite a deep pink though, so I'm going to probably lighten that down. So let's put that on. I'll do this one pink. Give it a bit of thing. So let's put some beige down again. Same old process. Oh, got a bit carried away there. There we go. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's bring that down. Right. Okay. I'll probably put a bit of white in my pink because my pink is like a really bright, like cerise pink that I've got here. So let's bring that down a little bit. So I've mixed it with a bit of white. We want it to show it's pink, but we don't want it to be too, well, I don't want it to be too. Right, I've hit some texture paste again. I don't know if you can tell on the picture. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can. Hopefully this isn't a boring video. But just wanted to give people an idea that, you know, you can make yourself some papers and you haven't got to be like, oh, I've got to be amazing at drawing to do it. You haven't. You don't have to be amazing at doing things at all. Well, I don't think you do. You might look at this and think, well, a load of old rubbish, but I know once all the markings and that have been done and we had bits to it, I think it's going to look alright. I'll use it anyway. So yeah, we've got a pink house now. So I think the pink house can have a bright pink door. I think that's quite acceptable. If you're going to have a pink house, you've got to have a pink door, haven't you? And I think we better leave the window frames and that white. This one. So she's going to have a pink door. Oh, Puppy's having a mooch around there, trying to get comfortable. There we go. I say she's Puppy, she's over a year old now, but there we go. So we're doing that one as a pink door. Okay. And what I should do, like I said, I'm going to be outlining this in black, so I can draw in the windows then. Let's do the roof. I'm going to do that roof ochre, I think, rather than brown. Yeah, let's do ochre. There we go. Have an ochre roof. There we are. Yeah, I'll do it that colour, I think. That's going to go over that house a little bit because that's what's happening. Right, okay, right. Right, we've got another house behind this one, and we've got that one there to do. I think I might do orange again. So I might just do that beige. Just put some beige down, see what that looks like. You know, some people just like a plain old colour, don't they? I quite like beige actually, so I'm going to say that because I do. I prefer cream in that than white. I can have a white house, it'd drive me mad. Yeah, so we just did that one beige. No, let's do that one beige. Right, let's do the roof. Go back to brown for the roof. There we go. Whoop. You can see it amongst the tree, but the tree is basically covering it a little bit, so we don't want to do through. So we're going to do the frames. Whoop. That. That. A brown frame on that one. Yeah. Bit of a big brush, but it doesn't matter. Like that. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Done. Like that. Right. Again, because we just don't want it to look one colour, so I'm going to do that. There we go, and that's behind the tree. Right, so we've got one more house over here to do. What am I going to do that now? Whoops. Let's go with beige to begin with. Right, this has got some texture paste on it. So let's go beige with some green window frames and a green door. I think we will. I think that's what we'll do. Doesn't that look alright? So we go down there. Right. Right. See, I'm not trying to do it so carefully and that. You can do if you want. You know, if you want to take your time and do it sort of thing. Well, we'll go with this green. I quite like this green actually. Ooh. I want a green door. It's like a knolly green, this is. Oop. Green door. Oh, it was, wasn't it? Who's that behind the green door? That's Shayan Stevens. I can't remember now. Something like that. Okay, so we're that. So window frames. Try not to lean in your paintwork. I think that's sort of dried off a bit, so I'll be alright for a minute. Alright, ooh. I think once I've done this one, because I think you've probably got the idea now. We're see if I can show you any marking or anything. I don't know if it's going to be dry enough. Just to give you an idea of what you can do. Let's do that around that window there. Ooh. Okay. What's wrong with my nose today? I'm going to just do the door frame beige, and then I will draw it in with the black pen when I use a black pen. So let's just go around like that. There we go. Right, we just need to do the roof on that one now. Oh, I haven't done the roof on that one either. Okay. Right. I'm going to go in darker because obviously I've used that brown on the tree. I mean, we don't literally have to see every bit of the roof. So we do that. Like so. We've got that bit of roof we need to paint in. Let's get another brush. Let's use that one. Okay. Maybe a little bit of white so it's not just a solid mass. There we go. There we go. A bit more on that roof. That's it. I said when we come to, you're not going to see the rest of the roof because it's hidden. There we are. this one we might do more of a reddy brown roof. I think we might. And it's add a little bit of, don't know if this will work, a bit of red into there. See what that looks like. And this one can have a bit of a reddy brown roof. Oh, hasn't really changed it much, has it? Not really. Right, we'll do that anyway. Yeah. Got a cool roof. What you can do is, when it dries off, you can put the tree over it a bit more if you wanted to, so you haven't just got a triangle roof. That doesn't matter. You can do that quite easy enough. There we go. Got a bit of tree over it there. There we go. Ooh. Over that a little bit. Okay. There we are. How's that looking? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. Right. Let's put in a path. Let's put in a path, because obviously they're not going to go straight onto the road, are they? Let's just do a grey path. There we go. You can use your pen after to put in finer details rather than do it with paint. That's what I probably should do. So again, you've just got your background colour, and you can use your pen to you know, define it. Sorry, when I'm trying to concentrate, I just forget what I'm going to say. Yes, you can use your fine tip felt pen, whatever you got, to define. So you could draw on cobblestones or something on this after. Right, okay, so that's that. Right. The sky. I'm probably going to count. I don't think I'm going to leave that straight up there anyway, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some white like this randomly up there. Just want it random up there, out there, out there. Put a bit in the clouds because it's not really funny. You see light through the clouds. There's like silver on there, I don't know why. A bit there. Maybe you're going to see through the clouds. Bit of sky in there. Right. But like I said, I'm probably more than likely going to cut round it anyway. I don't really want it. That square bit there as well. Again, because you're just going to see the light through it. We want a sky colour. What we got in here? Digging in the paints now. Oh, there. I don't want to get too dark. Yeah. Oh, we got our cobalt blue. That'd be quite dark, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's the same as that, isn't it? Perhaps we'll just use a bit of that. Perhaps that'd be easy. Yeah. Let's just use what I've got on here, but I'll mix white in it because I don't want it to be too dark. Right, that'll do. Just mixed it together on there, and then all I'm going to do is sort of go like that because there's a little bit of sky showing through. There we go. There we go. Sky. I'm not being that fussy about it. Bit of sky. Again, as I said, it's not about. I'm not Van Gogh or anything like that. Just want it something half decent. Be happy with that. A bit more blue in there. There we go. The blue there. Big sky. Right. Like that. Can you see it? Oh, I think you can. Right. Just like that. Okay. Right. Okay. And I'll probably define the trees a bit more as well in a bit. Right. Go over them a bit and do something else with that. So basically we put some sky in. So this is what we've got so far. Okay. A little bit there. Right, okay. Right. We're going to get the big brush in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go with a big brush. Right, here. We're going to say this is greenery. Oh, okay. So we're going to use the big brush because I don't want a big mass of colour. So we're just going to go like that. And as you can see, I'd already put some layers of paint, which was a grey that I just literally just use this big brush and splodge some grey on. So once you've got that, then you can just add a bit of darker. There we go. Again, we're not trying to be too fussy. Well, I'm not. Don't even know if I'm going to cut this bit off yet. Don't know. So, don't know yet. So you've got your pathway, a bit of grass. I think I put some texture paint on that as well. I did. So, we've done that. So let's put the big brush away. But actually, see what that looks like. This is what I'm saying. All you've got to do is have a go. You know, let's put, oh yeah, there. See, that's pretty good. Stipple that on. That's going to be part of the tree. The tree's coming over the houses. It's not just a block of, you know, stipple it on. There we go. Stipple it on. You know, trees growing over the house. We all know that happens. That's it. Not worried about it. Commit yourself and then go from there. Here he goes. There we are. Up there. Leaves up there. Don't want it to just look like a. There we go. Trees coming, growing. There we are. They grow over the side of the house there. You know. There it goes. Greening coming down here. Okay, bit off the you get them sprouts off the sprouts, you know what I mean, them bits that fly off the tree. What are they called? Roots. When they spurt out from the wrong place, you know what I mean. You know, it happens, doesn't it? Right, what I should probably do now is, what's that like? Is that a snotty colour? I don't know. I need to go in with a bit of white. Do it again. We don't want any harshness. We're trying to create softness. That's what we want. So I've gone in again. I've got a bit of white on there. Let's just blend that a little bit in. A little bit. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want any harsh lines. You know, trees and, you know, those bits all comes off it, doesn't it? There we go. Goes on the roof a little bit, over there a little bit, yeah. Grows over your windows, it's annoying, does things like that. Yeah, so how it goes. Again, put a bit on this bit here. And do it a little bit better. And then when you come to do your, I keep saying your fine pen, you can add in more details with it. Okay, you could define some of the leaves or whatever you want to do. That's completely up to you. Let's have a look at that. What does that look like? Well, I think I'll put some water on it. I don't think that's too bad. Look, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Right, let's dab that off a little bit because I'm running water down there now. Right. Yeah, I think the tree looks alright. Yeah. Not keen on the God, excuse me. I'm gonna have to blow my nose again. Right. Okay. Right. Not keen on the tree trunk, but we can do that. So let's put some more. Let's put some more yellow in here. And I think we're getting onto the stage. This is just a quick showing you. I mean, you could take your time and do this a lot more defined. But I don't want to do like hours and hours of video for you to be bored. Watch me do this. I'm sure it's probably quite boring, but you know. So, I mean, ideally, you'd want this to totally dry before you start adding other stuff to it. I'm just going to try and do it for the video just to give you an idea of what it'd look like. Once you start adding some other marks, you might find it, you might think I'm ruining it by adding marks, but that's what I'm going to do, because it's all about creating a background rather than, this isn't my main I'm not doing this, or this is a work of art that I want put in it. I'm using it as a background, so it's put some in there, right. Oh dear, yay. Sorry, sitting down for ages. It's maybe, I mean, I think it looks alright on camera. It might look pretty rubbish, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna put a little bit more brown because I want to give that bit more detail. It looks a bit like a blob. There we go. A bit more detail there. There we are. Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. I mean, you could fiddle about with it for ages, which I try not to do, but you could. You know, branches coming in there because the branches are growing over the house, and you know, probably creating all sorts of problems to their not suspension. I don't know what you call it. Can't think now. It's under the house. I don't know. You know what I mean. Trees tend to do that, don't they? All the roots all underneath. So we're going to put some just sweep them in. Commit. Just do it. Just do it. So, look at it. Art can't be wrong. Art can't be wrong. So you can't make a mistake. No harm in trying. That's what you see in your head and how you want it to look. So can't be wrong, can it? Right, so that's the trees in there. Don't know what I've done there. What was going on there? Got a bit of a white patch there. So I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll make it like a little bush. Yeah, let's have a little bush in there. So I'm just going to dab that on. Dab. It's going to be a little bush. Dab. There we go, just dab it in. There we go, that's a bush there. The bottom of the tree. And you could just do a little bit of stippling there like that, because you mean you're not going to have a dead straight path, are you? There's bits of grass growing over it and being annoying when you're trying to walk along. Yeah, you know what I mean. We can do a little bit more in there. A bit more grass. There we go. So yeah. And we put another bush in there. Just dab. You could put flowers on it as well if you wanted to. Just put some little I don't know, as your little, like the trees. What you could do, you could turn them into like blossom trees, sort of. And if you've got, like I said, my pink's quite bright, so I'm going to have to mix it in a minute. Again, don't have to be, I'm going to turn it a little bit. Hopefully you can see it, because I can't really see what I'm recording, to be fair, very well. Just do little, so we're going to do little dabs. That's not going to be perfect. That's going to be your blossom in the tree there. Pretty blossoms. Like that. Just dab. And like I said, when you come to a line in it, you could define these, you know, with the pen. Be a bit easier than a paintbrush. So just define the flowers. So a bit more blossom. Oh, it looks pretty. I love blossom trees. They're a bit blossom. We can bring it onto the house. Look. Oh, lovely. So yeah, on there. 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 Oh, look at that. That looks alright. The blossoms. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, just dabbed on some little just a little dab. Just like that. Dab. That's it. Little blossoms. Same, I don't know if you can see very well there, but it's say for instance what I've just done in the tree. If you can't see it, if you wanted to do it down here, say you wanted, I don't know, put some daisies down here, get a bit of white. Again, just dab, 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 dab. That's what we've got to do. Hopefully you can see me doing that. Let's try over here because I think you can see a bit better over here. Dab, 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 dab. A bit of white, dab, dab. A bit more. Nothing fancy. I'm not doing individual petals or anything like that. Just doing little dabs. And then you'll get your yellow. And I'm not even going to wash my brush. A little bit of yellow in the middle. And like I said, when you come to lining your outlining it, you can define it better than that. So there, so you've got a few flowers and that all on it, like that. Do a few more if you want. Over it. Oh, there you go. There. 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 Right. Okay. Dab, dab. There you go. Right. So you've done that. Now this is probably still a bit wet, but we're going to give it a go. Let's just do something else with it. Right, let's have a look what we got in here. This is just giving you ideas. You might want to keep just a painting. This is up to you. That is one of my favourite ones. Do you want to use that one? If not, what you can do is, how wet's that? Alright. We'll go with that one because it's the first one I got to my hand. I've got like a flowery one, but I don't know where it is at the moment. So let's, right, let's get that brush. This is a decoupage brush, but it's a bit stiffer. I'll probably sound like I'm mumbling, but I'll try not to talk too loud. Right, I'm going to go in with the pink. I'm going to stipple it on there a little bit. And then we're just going to stipple. Stipple, stipple, stipple. There we go. Right. Ideally, you'd wait for this totally to dry. I'm just doing it because I can't hold you up on a video for take that off. Right. You might think, oh, that's ruining it. Maybe it is. I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is for me to put in a journal. This is what I want to do. So you don't have to. You could leave it as a painting, like I said. I like it when you put marks all on it, so I'm going to do some different ones. Alright, we'll go up here now, do a bit up here. You don't want to do it every, well, I don't want to do it every hole. Let's just tone it down a little bit as I go. Like so. A bit over here. Now you might think, oh my god, and it might end up rubbish, I don't know. Don't know. But at some point you just got to go for it. I've got nothing to lose. I've painted it, you know, it's on a bit of paper I had. I'm not that going to cry about it, you know. But yeah, that on there like that. I'll put a bit down there. Right. A bit down there. Okay, right. Okay. What should we do now? I'm going to use, where did I put that lid? I had to mark. Lost it already. Let's try this one. Right. And then I'm going to go in with a lid. And I'm going to use, right, I'm going to spread the paint out a bit. Because my paint's a bit of a blob at the moment, so let's spread it out. It's going to be horrific now. I expect you're all going to go, what are you doing? But here we go. Ooh. Now I've got a thing full of paint. Never mind. Okay, right. Then we're going to go in with some more marks. Lid. Just got a lid. That's all. We're going to go boop, boop, boop. Okay. Right. Right, so I'm going to blob them in. Said we're not going to panic. Now again, you want to be careful if things are wet. Right, what have we got here? What do we got here? God damn. I'm not sure what other stencil it is. Right, sorry, I have to blow my nose again. Please. I'm coming down with a cold or what? Anyway, let's go on. Sorry, I thought I got all out that I wanted to use, but I'll be no pain. Right, here we go. What have we got there? It's quite a good one. Right, okay. Right, this is going to be even more terrifying because we're going to go in with black. Okay, let's put my stencils out of the way. But again, as I said, at the end of the day, if you're worried about ruining what you've done, then don't do what I'm doing. You don't have to. I'll put a bit of black on my braid. There we go. You don't have to do it. Okay, it's your bit of artwork that you've done, and normally I would have just used stencil, but I don't know, let's have a, or you could use your pen for this. I wouldn't normally use the paint, well, I'm saying I wouldn't normally, I have done. Right, let's clean this off, see how this goes. Right, okay. Have I ever done it and thought I wish I hadn't done it? Yeah, I have. Did I still use it? Yeah, I did. Because I added more to it once I thought about it a bit more. I added like a napkin and that to it and just made it, I'll say better. Better than, I was happy with it, put it that way. But you know, it's but as you layer it up, it starts coming together. So I do that over like that. Again, I don't want to do every hole because we're trying to make it look random. Put it over here. Like so. Oh, a bit of the texture paint's coming up there. That's fine. I'll go over here. I haven't put them all back on my brush because I still got quite a bit on my brush, so I'm going to just let's lift that up gently. Out there. Do that one straight, I think. Right, so I want to go off the page a bit here. So it's trying to keep it nice and random. So we go off the page there. We're going to turn it round and go off the page here. Let's use that tissue. Can you see? I think you can see. Oh. I'm like a disaster. I am always bashing things around, knocking things over. Never mind. Like that. So I put a bit more in that corner. What else do we need a little bit? Put a bit there on that corner. There we go. Like so. A bit like that. A little bit like that. Just go through some of it. So, whoop. There we go. Yeah, keep looking at it. Do you think there needs any more? I think we need a little bit along there. Go along there a little bit. There we go. Like that. Right, can you see how that's looking? I like it. You might not. You might have preferred it before. I don't know. But you know, it's each their own. That's what I'm saying. You do how you like it. So that's that stencil. Then what I would normally do is pop and flicking the pen everywhere. I like out pens. Right, let's use that one. See, you can tell it's one of my favourite stencils because I used it on that bit as well. And what you can do is, I can find my pens. Excuse me a sec, because they're buried in my box of goodies. Or right, okay. Don't know if there was pens my daughter brought me. Don't think they're anything fancy, but they do the job. Right, they've got a fine one end and a thick at the other end. So then you've got your fine tip, and then what you can do is, if you wanna, you see me there? Yeah, go over here, the picture, if you can. Because like I said, you could add details like the handle, do that in, go to the window and see it, like that, Oop. Just to define it a bit more, there we go, Oop. Again, you could write stuff on the house if you wanted to, you know. I'm not being very precise about everything because it doesn't need to be perfect. Again, I use the word perfect again because it doesn't. But yeah, so you could do that. You could, I don't know, draw in some, you know, put a letterbox there, or a letterbox. You could go through the tree and do all the leaves a bit better. You know, that's, again, I've said this before, I do really, you let your creativity go wild and do what you want, and how you like it. As I said, what I'm doing, people might think, oh, I don't like that, but I'm not doing it for anyone else, I'm doing it how I want it, and this is what you've got to do with your picture. That's what I said to you. It doesn't matter about everything being perfect, because these little bits that are going over, like the windows and everything, it all adds to the character of what you're doing. But I mean, obviously I'd say let things dry, because there's me leaning all in this paint here, which probably isn't a good idea for smudging it. But I hope this is just giving you an idea of what you can do to make your own backgrounds. I said I should do the other side because I should fold it up in a journal. So you can put a doorknob on that. We'll put the letterbox lower down. You could put a number on the door. You know, you could sit and write, I don't know, empowering words around it, you know, encouraging people or positivity, things like that, all over it. Now that you've got something in the background, you know, it's up to you. But yeah, I hope you can see it all right. But this is what I'm going to go ahead and go over the whole thing. I hope you can see it. Around that way. Might even add some more stuff to it, I don't know yet, but this is what we've got. So I hope it gives you some ideas of doing something yourself, and just keep adding to it until you're happy with it, and then you've got it to go. Before you go, because I have nearly finished now, because I think I can't hold everyone up any longer, I don't know if you'd like to see through the journal that I made my sister. I haven't done journaling for a long time, so oops. Let's pick it back up. I think you're looking at my ceiling now. Right, we've just hit the floor, and I tried because I was right at the table, which is silly thing to do. Right, let me pick it back up. Sorry. Right, hopefully I haven't broken the tripod. Let's have a look. Right, 1 minute. Hang on a minute. Let's see if we can pick it back up. I don't know what happened there. Okay. I suppose I'm lucky my phone didn't break. 1 minute. Me now, sorry people. Right, I thought I'd come back and just show you the picture done. So this is it done. So I used the black pen, went over it all, added some little details there, just bits and pieces. There you go. Hope you liked it. Thank you. Sorry it was a bit up and down the video and dropping my camera and stuff like that, but I hope it gave you some ideas. Hope you come back again and see me. Thank you. Bye bye.